Video system initializing, signal stable, transmission begins in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Pragmata feels like one of those rare AAA games that remembers what video games are supposed to be. Not just a product, not just some kind of monetization machine, not just another game designed around battle passes, store tabs, and live service roadmaps. It feels like an experience you can just drop into, play, and get pulled into without feeling like the game is trying to sell you something every 5 minutes. And that alone makes Pragmata stand out from a lot of modern AAA games. You have a simple premise, two people get thrown into a terrible situation, they have to survive against deadly machines, the game starts with enough mystery to pull you in, but it does not overcomplicate itself before you even care. That is one thing I appreciated the most. The story does not need to start with a giant lore dump or some kind of 30-minute explanation of every faction, every robot, system, and hidden motive. It gives you the situation, it gives you the characters, then it lets the experience build from there. What surprised me most about Pragmata is that the game still feels hopeful, even when everything keeps going wrong. That could have fallen apart. A game like this could have been miserable, cold, or dramatic just for the sake of being dramatic. But Diana changes the entire mood of the game because she brings warmth into a world that could have felt empty and mechanical. She is not there just to be, cute, helpless, or used as some kind of emotional decoration. She matters in the story. She matters in the gameplay. She gives Hugh someone to protect. But she also helps him survive. That changes the dynamic. And I think that is why this game feels different. It's not just man protects child. It's more interesting than that. It feels like two people stuck in an impossible situation becoming necessary to each other. That kind of bond gives the game its heart. Diana is the reason Pragmata does not feel like another cold sci-fi action game. She gives the story a human center, even during the gameplay. She stands out as someone important, not just someone standing behind the main character waiting for the cutscene to start. The game makes you feel you need her, and that makes the relationship work. That gives Pragmata a kind of, emotional texture most AAA games don't even care to try to create anymore. Hugh is not just dragging someone through danger. Diana is not just a burden. Their interaction gives the game a different rhythm. The danger feels more personal. The quiet moments matter more because of their bond. And that might be why some people react to it so strangely. We're so used to games making father figures absent, evil, broken, abusive, tragic, or even more useless than they could have been before. It makes the protective dynamic feel weird when it shows up without irony. That says a lot, not just about Pragmata, but about the culture around games too. It is rare now to see a game treat this kind of bond with sincerity. A lot of modern stories seem more comfortable with broken families than functional ones. If a parent shows up, especially a father figure, there's a good chance he is dead, evil, useless, emotionally distant, or part of some tragic backstory. And after a while, that pattern just gets old. This is why Pragmata can feel jarring at first. It is not because the premise is confusing. It is not because the characters are hard to understand. It is not because the dynamic feels unusually sincere. It does not hide the emotional bond under sarcasm. It does not seem embarrassed by the idea of protection, trust, and responsibility. And I think this is where some of the online reaction comes from. When people see Hugh and Diana together, some immediately twist it into something ugly. This says more about the audience than the game itself. Because the dynamic itself is not strange. What is strange is how rare it has become to see this kind of bond treated with innocence and seriousness. Pragmata also impressed me because it runs actually well. I mean, that sounds like a low bar, but in modern AAA gaming, it really isn't. I don't have the best hardware, but the game still ran smoothly for me with the little that I've played so far, with no stuttering or anything like that. After years of broken launches, messy PC ports, and games that feel unfinished at release, that matters. Sometimes the most shocking thing a AAA game can do now is simply work. No constant stuttering, no obvious performance disaster, no feeling like you are playing a beta. That matters more than people want to admit, because a lot of people are exhausted. They're tired of games launching broken. They're tired of being treated like unpaid testers. They're tired of watching studios chase monetization before they even make sure the game feels good to play. So when a game like Pragmata comes along and feels like an actual complete experience, it stands out immediately. Pragmata reminds me of what AAA games used to feel like before everything became so aggressively monetized. I'm not saying every older game was perfect. I'm not saying the industry was ever some flawless golden age. But there was a time when a big game could just be a big game. A published, interesting, self-contained experience that wanted to pull you into its world. This is what Pragmata seems to understand. Give players a world worth entering. Give them characters worth caring about. Give them gameplay that actually works. Give them a reason to stay. Do not treat every moment like another chance to extract money. And that last part is important, because the industry has pushed out a lot of trash over the years. Not because developers lack talent. A lot of developers are incredibly talented. The problem is that too many games are shaped by bad priorities before players ever touch them. Live service models, forced monetization, safe formulas, over-designed systems, corporate trend chasing. Pragmata feels refreshing because it does not feel like it was built around all of that first. This is why I think gamers should look past the controversy and actually pay attention to what Pragmata is doing. Not every online reaction deserves to define the game. Sometimes people get so trapped in discourse that they stop looking at the experience in front of them. From what I played, Pragmata is not another empty AAA product trying to waste your time. It feels like proof that big studios can still make something special when they just lock in. The game has a clear premise, the characters have emotional weight, the performance is strong. The gameplay feels like it was made to be played and not monetized forever. The game has a sincerity that makes people uncomfortable because we barely see it anymore. The last point is what I keep coming back to. Pragmata is not just interesting because it's a sci-fi action game. It's interesting because it feels like it believes in something. It believes there is still room for warmth in a hostile world. It believes two characters can need each other without the story becoming cynical. It believes a AAA game can still be an experience instead of a storefront with combat attached to it. I think the strongest thing about Pragmata is that it shows what gaming could still be. Not perfect, not above criticism, not immune to flaws, but still focused on giving players something real instead of another hollow product dressed up as entertainment. And that is why I think this game matters. It shows AAA games can still have heart. It shows performance still matters. It shows players still respond to complete experiences. It shows sincerity can stand out in a cynical industry. It shows that not every game needs to be built around endless monetization. That is the real takeaway for me. Pragmata is not just a good, modern AAA game. It is a reminder that the industry still has the talent to make great games when the right priorities are in place.
Oh, hey, glad you're still here. I've, just finished syncing the next set of files for you. They're right over there on the screen. Take a look and, catch ya in the next one.